Okay, welcome. So as we get started, I'd like to first turn it over to Hillary Fox so she can welcome us from SILSAA.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Hillary Fox. I am currently a research librarian over at NC State, but the reason why I'm here today is because I'm the president of the SILS Alumni Association. And actually, Meggie is on the alumni board as well. So on behalf of the SILSA board, thank you so much for coming. We're really excited to have this as a virtual event this year, and this kind of might be the silver lining of the pandemic, because looking around at all the boxes right now, I'm seeing people who would have not been able to attend the virtual networking otherwise. The SILSA arms go long to cross different areas of the world, different areas of the country. So it's really great that we got to have, some fresh faces come in with different perspectives from all of these different areas. So thank you to the professionals, and thank you so much to the students that are here. And I hope that you all enjoy the experience. Lori has been a huge asset in making tonight come together. So as you all kind of go through the evening, if there's any questions or any concerns or ideas that you want to pitch for future events, feel free to let Lori or I know. Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary. So we're going to take some time now in the main room for the professionals to introduce themselves. So if they can talk about where they work and what they do, maybe how long they've been there, and what their SILS connection is, if they're an alum or a friend of SILS. And so we'll do that before we go into our breakout sessions. So Alex, can you start us off?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Alex Carroll. I am currently, let's see, my title is, it's always hard to remember these. It's the librarian for STEM research, and I am at Vanderbilt University here in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been here for just under 2 years. Before that, I was at NC State in a similar role for 3.5 years. And before that, I was at Maryland College Park for about 3 years in a similar role. So I've kind of been a science librarian at a few different kind of big research universities now, so I can reflect a little bit about what's different and similar about those. My connection to SILS is I am an alum from the class of 2013, MS, and while I was at SILS, I worked at the US EPA, which is how I got to know Hillary, because she followed me out the door there. So that's how I got the chance to meet Hillary, and so thank you for the invitation for being here. I'm excited to get to meet some folks.
Thanks, Alex. Cathy?
Hi, I'm Cathy Field. I am a public librarian, maybe the only public librarian here, I'm not sure. Good. I work at a small to mid-sized regional public library outside of Richmond, Virginia. So we do 2 counties and a city, because Virginia has independent cities, which is a whole crazy thing. I graduated SILS in 2015. Years are very hard right now. So I've been in this job for coming up on 4 years, and was in a public library before. And I also know Hillary from the EPA. I would have followed Hillary out the door. So it would have been Alex, Hillary, and then me in that chain.
Great, thank you. Jason.
Hi, everyone. Jason Reed, and I wrote down my title so I don't have to struggle for it. I am an assistant professor and health sciences information specialist at the Purdue University Libraries and School of Information Studies. I have been at Purdue for, I think, about 4.5 years now. Previous to that, I was at Kansas State University for 3-ish years. I'm here tonight because I, like everyone else so far, am a former EPA library alum. I worked with Alex there, and so I was also a 2013 SILS graduate. Excited to be here tonight.
Thank you, Jason. Karin?
Hey everybody, I'm Karin Michael. I am the manager of youth and family experiences at Chapel Hill Public Library. So I graduated from SILS and did not go far. And in fact, my internship was here the year that I graduated, which is a few more years ago than most of you graduated. So I've been here that whole time, which is 20 plus years now. So yeah, so I work with kids and teens and the public, and do different things now that it's a pandemic.
Thank you. Maggie?
Hi, my name is Meggie Lasher, and as Hillary said, we are on the SILSAA board together. I am currently at Davidson College, where I'm the Research and Academic Engagement Librarian, which is just word salad for reference and instruction, and I focus on outreach within my position. I hopped around a little bit. So if you, I've worked at different sized institutions, and I've worked in community colleges as well. So mostly academic, but a lot of my experience while I was at SILS was in public libraries. So I know I'm connected with the public library system in the sort of Orange County, Wake County area. So I love to talk about that. But what else am I supposed to? I just get so excited. I'm like so happy to be on Zoom with people who I don't work with. So in general, it's just nice to see different people. So I'm really excited.
Thank you. Yes, you covered all the questions. Great. Peter?
Yeah, I'm sorry if my internet's being weird right now, so I apologize for that. So Peter Schhertz, I'm the music librarian at Emory University. I mostly do collection development and instruction. Before that, I was at the University of Hawaii for a few years out on an island, which is exciting. And I started that job after I finished SILS in 2014. And I think, Karin, I might have been I did an internship at the Chapel Hill Public Library, and I think you were there while I was there. So
Great. So at this point, I'd like to explain the process of how the program is going to go tonight. You should, at the bottom of your screen, have a bar that says breakout rooms, and there should be one labeled academic libraries and one labeled public libraries. So we'd like Cathy and Karin to go into the public library room, and then the other professionals go into the academic library room, and then our students can choose where to go in. Now, it so happens with the numbers right now, it'd be nice if you each chose a different one, because then when we switch, then we'll have that interaction. So, so feel free to go into the breakout rooms, and we'll set a timer of about 10 to 12 minutes in there, and I'll let you know when to come back to the main room. Thank you.
I don't have a little bar.
Okay, so I think I can put you in a spot. So I'm going to assign you to public libraries. And if we have to do this again at the end, we'll do that again.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Did it seem to work? Yes, we're going to take that as a yes. So Rebecca, you're going to go to academic.
I've noticed when people go to leave, like it freezes a little bit. So I was like, oh, she froze. Perfect. She got somewhere.
It's very, you know, space-like. It's like, oh, they're zapped out.
Oh, man, it makes me so happy to see all these faces.
You did such a nice job of bringing back good people who are also friends, because they're all in such good moods. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
let me pause the recording.
So far, so good.
Cathy and I were comparing notes about public libraries and pandemics.
Yeah, it's just, I'm sure academic library is a little bit the same, because you guys have all adjusted in some ways, but it is interesting to see what other people are doing, and not feeling any like connection to the choices that people are making. Like, that's nice to be like, oh.
Welcome back. Thank you very much. We are going to take a pause in the main room and have some conversation where all the professionals can chime in. So our first question that we want to ask tonight is, what professional development organizations or activities have been the most helpful in your career? And feel free to unmute yourself and chime in as you wish.
So one of my favorites, oh, sorry, Jason. So one of my favorites is like academic Twitter, which sounds kind of silly, but having sort of my own like curated list of librarians who are especially vocal in the community has been really helpful just to stay in tune with like issues. And then also I really like to sort of read articles, especially from library trends and college and research libraries. That's been really helpful. And I like to go to small conferences. I'm kind of intimidated by the big ones. So local and regional conferences have been really helpful for me too.
Great.
So in our breakout session, we talked a little bit about wishing a bunch of us wishing we'd had more instructional experience leaving SILS. And so I've been very fortunate at Purdue. We have a program to teach faculty how to be better teachers using more active learning pedagogy, and libraries is part of that. And so I've shadowed that and now work as a support person. So I've picked up so much knowledge about the philosophy of teaching from there. But acknowledging that's not an option for everyone, the ACRL does an immersion program that's a week-long intensive teaching program that can be a great way to expand your knowledge and skills in that area. I highly recommend getting your library to pay for it. It is not the cheapest experience, but there are some scholarships for that. So I think that's a great opportunity in terms of conferences. One of my liaison areas is with pharmacy, and there's a pharmacy education conference that has a library and information section. And so that has been a fantastic opportunity to learn more about that very specific subset of an area, because you get the benefits of being in a small group while being part of a larger national conference as well. And it's been a great way to network with faculty.
Yeah, and I can follow on from what Jason says there from my perspective. So in terms of, since Jason brought up a high cost development, I'll bring up a low cost one that I found is really useful for my career, is that for the work that I do, which tends to a lot of times be kind of at the intersection of health sciences and sciences and engineering, the NIH and the NLM and the National Networks of Library Medicine, so NNLM, do really, really great no cost synchronous and asynchronous training on just about every topic you could think of. And it gives you kind of access to expertise from across the country, across different library settings. They do a great job of featuring public library programming, so citizen science or health literacy, to kind of single basic biological searching. So I've gotten a lot of great mileage out of those programs throughout my career. And in terms of kind of conferences, similar to Jason, what I've had a great experience with is going to the conferences that my faculty participate in. So for me, that is the American Society of Engineering Education, which similarly has a libraries division within it. So you have a 120 person or so community within this 10,000 person international kind of conference. And so it's always great when you can go to a conference and see the faculty that you liaise with there, and even sometimes present with them, which I've had a really great experience doing.
I'll jump in if you can hear me.
Yes.
Still internet issues. So for me, like, music librarians have their own professional group that they work together, and it's still kind of large. There's like 400 or 600 people depending on the conference. But so what's been helpful for me is actually we have regional chapters that are only like 50 people, because as Maggie said, it's really hard to for those big conferences to really get to know people. So if you can start at a smaller regional conference, get to know people there, then when you go to the bigger conferences, you can network with the people that to expand your network a little bit, and it's a little less overwhelming. So now I'm actually going to be chairing the program committee for the big annual conference. So I quickly, I guess, worked my way, even though I'm a very shy person, when it comes to groups like that.
That's great, Peter. I was wondering if anyone had thoughts on how professional development has changed this year with the pandemic. I feel that in my organizations, there's a lot more free webinars because it's almost like, let's just stay connected. And I was wondering if you had any sense of how that will play out in the future when we do start to do these things more live than virtually.
Something that's been pretty important at just locally at Davidson and the library, we've oriented ourselves more towards open access and sort of how can we make things more open. And a lot of that was inspired by student response after last summer's riots in Charlotte about racial injustice and sort of like, what does it mean, like gatekeeping and stuff like that. So if we can make it free and easily accessible, then we're really trying to do that. So that's been, I really like that theme so far. And to echo what Alex said, I like the NCLA, and NC Live hosts a lot of free trainings. And so that's been really helpful for me to keep up to date with some stuff and like learn some new things. So when things are, I really appreciate when people make that effort too. And I'm glad that I'm part of a community that's making those efforts as well. So that kind of transparency and accessibility has been a real plus as I continue to learn more.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to repeat the breakout rooms, and the professionals are where they were last time. Students, please swap, and you'll get a message from me when we are coming back to the main room for our closing. So if you need help, please let me know. Oh, let me open them. There we go. Welcome back.
Rebecca, you're a trooper. Thank you so much for coming to both nights.
Oh, well, they're both like important. So I won't be here Friday though. That's a little bit outside of my
Understandable.
Your excuse. Welcome back. Thank you very much for being part of our new experiment of using virtual breakout rooms for speed networking. We're really excited that the professionals could come and give their time and expertise. And we also want to thank the students for showing up and participating. I know sometimes it's easier to be a fly on the wall and just let things like, I'll just absorb. And this was interactive for a reason. So thank you very much for participating. So Hillary, I'd like to thank SILSAA for all of your efforts in finding the volunteers for tonight. We really appreciate that. And enjoy the collaboration between SILS Career Services and SILSAA. So thank you very much for attending. And I'll stick around if people have more conversation, but we wanted to officially end the session. And thank you for your participation.